Imagine the shock of seeing a former head of state, once the leader of one of the world's most powerful nations, handcuffed and led away to prison. It's a scene straight out of a political thriller, but in a real-life twist that's rocked France. Ex-President Nicolas Sarkozy has been ordered to serve time behind bars, marking the first time a modern French president faces actual incarceration. This isn't just any scandal. It's a deep dive into corruption, international intrigue, and the blurred lines between politics and personal ambition. Stick around, because this story has layers that will make you question everything you think you know about power and justice. On Thursday, a Paris courtroom delivered a groundbreaking verdict, convicting Sarkozy of criminal conspiracy for his role in a scheme to illegally fund his 2007 presidential campaign, using money allegedly sourced from Libya. The court handed down a 5-year prison sentence, a decision that stunned many by insisting he begin serving it immediately, even as he plans to appeal. This means the 70-year-old conservative icon won't face the immediate embarrassment of being escorted out in handcuffs from the crowded courtroom, but the date for his incarceration is still to be set, leaving a cloud of uncertainty hanging over him. To break this down for those new to legal jargon, criminal conspiracy here refers to a group of people plotting together to commit a crime, even if the full plan doesn't come to fruition. In this case, the court determined that Sarkozy was involved in a covert operation from 2005 to 2007, where he and his associates sought funds from Libya in exchange for diplomatic favors. It's like a high-stakes deal gone wrong, where the promise of money and influence could have tipped the scales in his favor during the election. Interestingly, while the judges found him guilty of this conspiracy, they cleared him on 3 other serious charges: passive corruption, essentially accepting bribes without actively seeking them, illegal campaign financing, and hiding the misuse of public funds. This partial acquittal adds nuance. It shows the court believed in the plot's existence, but couldn't prove every element beyond a doubt. Sarkozy, ever the defiant figure, blasted the ruling as an outrage. Standing beside his wife, the renowned singer and model Carla Bruni Sarkozy, he declared, "If they absolutely want me to sleep in prison, I will sleep in prison, but with my head held high. I am innocent. This injustice is a scandal." He appealed directly to the French public, urging everyone, supporters and critics alike, to recognize the depth of this hatred that knows no limits. His words paint a picture of a man feeling persecuted, and it's hard not to feel the emotional weight here. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this truly an injustice, or is Sarkozy downplaying the severity of actions that the court described as exceptionally serious? The judges argued that his involvement in soliciting funds from Libya risked eroding public trust in institutions, stating bluntly that the conspiracy aimed to give him an unfair edge in the election. Sarkozy, who served as interior minister before his 2007 victory, was accused of leveraging his position to set up what the court called an act of corruption at the highest level. He brushed it off as merely an idea, a fleeting notion that he supposedly let 2 staff members pursue. "I am being convicted for supposedly allowing 2 of my staff members to go ahead with the idea of illegal financing for my campaign," he protested. This defense highlights a key debate. At what point does allowing an idea to float become complicity in a crime? The court saw it as active participation, ruling that Sarkozy permitted his aides to contact Libyan officials for financial backing. Yet crucially, they couldn't definitively prove that any Libyan funds actually made it into his campaign coffers. Under French law, though, a corrupt scheme remains illegal even without proof of payment. It's the intent and the attempt that count. This is the part most people miss. In legal terms, the crime isn't just about the money changing hands. It's about the potential for abuse of power that undermines democracy itself. 2 of Sarkozy's closest allies from his presidency, former ministers Claude Guéant and Brice Hortefeux, were also convicted of the same conspiracy charge but acquitted on other counts. The chief judge spent hours detailing the verdict, explaining how Sarkozy enabled outreach to Libya for support. This trial, which lasted 3 months and included 11 co-defendants, 3 of them ex-ministers, showcased Sarkozy's denials of any wrongdoing. Despite this, he's no stranger to legal troubles that have tarnished his legacy. He's still a force in French right-wing politics and the entertainment world, thanks in part to his marriage to Bruni Sarkozy. The roots of these accusations go back to 2011, when a Libyan news agency and the late dictator Muammar Gaddafi claimed Libya had secretly pumped millions of euros into Sarkozy's 2007 campaign. A year later, the investigative outlet Mediapart revealed what they believed was a Libyan intelligence memo outlining a €50 million deal. Sarkozy called it a fake and sued for defamation. In Thursday's ruling, the court leaned towards agreeing it was likely forged, a twist that fuels the controversy. Was this document a plant to smear him, or evidence of a cover-up? Investigators also examined trips to Libya by Sarkozy's inner circle during his time as interior minister, including his chief of staff. Then there's the saga of Franco-Lebanese businessman Ziad Taqiyuddin, who in 2016 told Mediapart he delivered cash-filled suitcases from Tripoli to the French Interior Ministry under Sarkozy's watch. He later recanted, and that flip-flop is now under separate investigation for possible witness intimidation. Both Sarkozy and his wife face preliminary charges in that probe, though it hasn't reached trial. Taqiyuddin, a co-defendant who passed away in Beirut on Tuesday at age 75, had fled to Lebanon in 2020 and skipped the proceedings. Prosecutors painted Sarkozy as knowingly profiting from a corruption pact with Gaddafi's regime. To understand the broader context, Gaddafi ruled Libya for over 4 decades until his overthrow and death in a 2011 uprising amid the Arab Spring. During the 2000s, France engaged in secret negotiations with Libya as Gaddafi sought to mend ties with the West, transforming Libya from an international outcast. Sarkozy has dismissed the charges as politically driven, blaming liars and crooks from the Gaddafi clan and forged documents. He even suggested the allegations stemmed from revenge for his push as president for Gaddafi's ouster. He was among the first Western leaders advocating military action in Libya during the 2011 protests. What credibility can be given to such statements marked by the seal of vengeance? Sarkozy questioned during the trial. This raises a provocative point. Could this conviction be payback for his foreign policy decisions, or is it a legitimate crackdown on corruption? And this is the part most people miss. The irony that the man who helped topple Gaddafi is now entangled in scandals linked to the dictator's regime. Sarkozy's legal woes extend beyond this case. In June, he lost his Legion of Honor, France's top civilian award, following a conviction in a separate corruption scandal. He was found guilty of trying to bribe a judge in 2014 for insider info on a case against him, resulting in a year of electronic monitoring. Due to his age, he got a conditional release in May, ditching the bracelet after just over 3 months. Last year, he was convicted of overspending in his 2012 re-election bid, exceeding legal limits by nearly double, and sentenced to a year in prison with half suspender. He's appealed that to France's highest court, the Court of Cassation, and it's still pending. As we wrap this up, it's clear Sarkozy's story is one of triumphs, controversies, and now confinement. But is this ruling a victory for accountability, or a witch hunt fueled by political enemies? Do you think the court's focus on intent over actual funds is fair, or does it set a dangerous precedent? And what about Sarkozy's claims of vengeance? Are they valid, or just a desperate deflection? Share your thoughts in the comments. Agree with the verdict, or see it as an attack on a former leader? Let's discuss. Your perspective could shed light on the bigger question.